issued. So let's send it over to First Alert meteorologist Cameron Aaron for the latest. Cameron.
Yeah, Steve, we're still tracking that possible tornado pushing out of Campbell County into Claiborne County, Tennessee, and a new severe thunderstorm warning for portions of Knox County pushing into Bell County, also in Whitley County. And again, this storm has a history of producing some damage in Scott County, Tennessee. A possible tornado earlier this afternoon over in Scott County, Tennessee. Right now, though, some good news. This storm has weakened, but still, this is a tornado possible severe thunderstorm warning. That means that this could spin up or spin down pretty quickly as it crosses the Kentucky-Tennessee state border and it moves into portions of Whitley County, pushing into mainly Bell County. So heads up in Middlesboro, also Pineville. Again, this is a severe thunderstorm warning until 7 o'clock this evening with a tornado possible signature on that. Let's go ahead and look at the velocity if we can, and we can show the kind of wind pattern that we have in this storm. Now, earlier this evening, the wind pattern was really impressive with this storm, but now you can see it's not as impressive as it comes close to the Kentucky and Tennessee border. This is from the radar in Knoxville. Notice the red color, that's wind going away from the radar. That green color, that's wind going towards the radar. So right here in southeastern Whitley County, also southwestern Bell County, that's where we could see possibly a little bit of a spin up over the next little bit. But again, some good news. This is not as well defined as it was about 30 to 45 minutes ago. Let's go back to reflectivity if we can, kind of show you what's kind of going on here at the moment. We have this possible tornadic kind of supercell and a tornado warning in place for portions of Campbell County, also into Claiborne County, Tennessee, and a severe thunderstorm warning for portions of Whitley County, pushing into portions of Bell County, also for Knox County. But again, this is going to be mainly a Bell County situation as this kind of clips that far southeastern corner of Whitley County, moving into portions of Bell County at this hour. Again, that warning is in effect until 7 o'clock this evening. The current time is 6:31 on WYMT, and I'm Cameron Aaron alongside with Jim Freeman. We are watching out for a few strong storms this evening across Kentucky, pushing into northeastern Tennessee. And again, no tornado warning in place for southeast Kentucky, but we do have a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag that's in place for portions of Bell County, also Knox and Whitley County. So if you are in that warning, go ahead and just go indoors. Again, not a particular tornado warning, but still just go ahead and treat this storm seriously and go ahead and head indoors if you can. Here's a wide look at the radar, and notice for most of us, no big issues at this hour. Even for most of us, we're dry. We're dry in Jackson, dry in Hazard, up to I-64. Before we zoom in, though, look back to the west, close to Louisville, also close to the northern Kentucky area. All these severe thunderstorm warnings. We also had some tornado warnings earlier this evening for portions of northern Kentucky, and that line of showers and storms will continue pushing off to the south and east as we go over the next several hours. So we are not done with the severe weather chance just yet. The better chance will stay over northern Kentucky, also central Kentucky, but still, we can still see possibly a few more showers and storms, and some of those could pack a punch with heavy rain, also strong straight line winds, some large hail, and possibly a quick spin up tornado. And right now we have a tornado warning in place for Campbell and Claiborne County, and that's in northeastern Tennessee. If we can zoom into that storm down to the south, Jim, and portions of Campbell and Claiborne County, moving into Whitley, Knox, and Bell County as well. But again, no tornado warning for southeast Kentucky, but this is a severe thunderstorm warning with also a tornado possible tag. That means that this could spin up or spin down rather quickly. And again, notice that they've just trimmed that tornado warning for portions of Campbell and Claiborne County. So they've kind of dropped that a little bit for most of the county, but that severe thunderstorm warning will continue as we go into Middlesboro, also for Pineville as well. Let's go in a little bit tighter here if we can get some smaller areas in Bell County, also extreme southeastern Whitley County for a small sliver of southern Knox County. This does not include Williamsburg. This does not include Barberville in Knox County, but this does include a large chunk of Bell County for Pineville, for Middlesboro. This includes US 25E from Pineville all the way down to Middlesboro. And again, some heavy rainfall in far southwestern Bell County, possibly a little bit of broad rotation pushing into far southeastern Kentucky. And this is a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag. So go ahead and just kind of go indoors, treat this as you would a tornado warning, and just stay off the road, stay out of the way of this path of this storm as it pushes off to the north and east. This is a rather slow moving storm. It's moving off to the north and east around 30 to 35 miles per hour. And Jim, if we can put a track on that, that would be great as well, as it pushes off to the north and east around 30 to 35 miles per hour. If not, that's okay too. Oh, there we go. And again, that will go off to the north and east. And you can see here, these are approximate arrival times, so don't take this to the bank, but you can see here as it continues moving north and east, we're talking about the No Town area at 647, the Binghamtown area at 651, and Meldrum around 655 as this severe thunderstorm warning continues, pushing off to the north and east. That's the current situation right now. Some good news, we have no other warnings in our region. This is the only warning that we have at this hour, and really we have a tornado watch, though I should mention that for most of the region, all the counties in red, that is a tornado watch, and that will last through 8 o'clock this evening. So be sure that you are keeping up with the forecast and you have ways to receive warnings and you stay weather aware, as we are not done with that severe weather chance just yet. Again, I do think the better chance for severe weather will be over northern, also central Kentucky. They had some more sunshine earlier today. For us, we've had some pretty cloudy conditions, also some showers throughout the day, and that's helped to lower the instability or the storm fuel. But again, that's not completely washed away that severe weather threat. So we're going to keep an eye on that as we go over the next little bit. And again, if you're watching us from Wayne County, from McCreary County, from Pulaski County, no severe weather warnings, but we do have a few heavier pockets of rain close to the Lake Cumberland area, and a few thunderstorms as well. Hey, Jim, let's go back to the west, to Bowling Green. Looks like we have a tornado warning, and that includes parts of Bowling Green. So yeah, you can see here we have some cells that are popping up to western Kentucky, also northern Kentucky, and these cells will continue moving off to the east over the next several hours. So again, we're gonna have to watch out for these very closely as they move off to the north and east over the next little bit there. But for now, we have one severe thunderstorm warning in our region, and that's for portions of Bell County, also into north or southeastern Whitley County and extreme southern Knox County. This does not include Barberville, and that does not include Williamsburg. That does not include the I-75 corridor, but this storm has history of producing some damage. It produced some damage close to I-75 in Whitley County for Campbell County, also into Scott County, Tennessee. So this is a storm that's capable of producing some damage. The good news right now, the rotation has weakened as it pushed across the border into Bell County. If we can go in a little bit tighter into portions of Bell County to get a better look at this storm. And this is coming from the radar side in Knoxville or in Morristown in Tennessee. And again, this is a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag for portions of southeastern Whitley County into extreme southern Knox County into portions of Bell County at this hour. Let's take a look at the velocity if we can to see if this storm is kind of wrapping itself up or if it's still kind of weak. And a little bit right there, as you can see just to the west of Middlesboro, a little bit of a tighter rotation here. Again, those green colors, those are winds going towards Knoxville. The red color, that's wind going away from Knoxville. And you can see right there, there's your spin, there's your rotation just to the west of downtown Middlesboro. And that will continue pushing off to the north and east. So again, no formal tornado warning, but just go ahead and go indoors. Gotta ride this thing out over the next several minutes there as it pushes off to the north and east. This is Pineville, this is US 25E, and that's Middlesboro. And again, this is a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag as that continues moving off to the north and east over the next several minutes. This is moving off to the north and east around 35 miles per hour. And we are not getting any reports of any damage or anything like that, so that's good news there. But again, that will continue moving off to the north and east. Jim, are you mic'd up? If you are, let me know. You can chime in if you want to, and if you have any reports coming in from the National Weather Service office over in Jackson, they're watching the storm very closely. And again, this is a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag, and you have access to the chat over in the Weather Center. If you have anything to chime in, be sure to just cut me off. I don't care at all. You can just kind of let me know if you have things to say. And Josh, if his mic is on, if you please make sure that that is on at this hour. All right, thank you so much, sir. And again, this is a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag. Jim, take it away for a little bit.
Okay, thanks, Cameron. We're again watching this system. It's certainly, as you mentioned, not as strong as it once was. We have been tracking this since it developed in Morgan County, Tennessee. That's the Sunbright Wartburg area. If you're familiar with Tennessee, it tracked on across a portion of Scott County, Tennessee, Huntsville, Tennessee, and then across Scott County into Campbell County, Tennessee, and now it's come through an edge of Claiborne County, the Clearfield community, crossing Fondee Mountain on into Bell County primarily, as we're watching here, tracking at Ferndale at 648, Wasiato at 6:52, past the golf course there. Straight Creek at 6:55, Varilla at 6:57, and we continue to watch this storm track as it works its way through the area north and northeast. As Cameron mentioned, it's not a warning, but we'll want to go ahead and be careful, get indoors. Let's stay away from it and stay safe, so we can look and see if any debris with any of this storm, and it looks as if that there may be a little bit of debris that has come from this right there on the Tennessee-Kentucky line, just a bit south of Fondue Mountain. As you see that greenish color there for that bit of debris. And as Cameron mentioned, we're talking about a tornado watch in effect until at least 8 o'clock tonight. And you see the highlight of Middlesboro and Bell County, Pineville on up through that area of southeast Kentucky. And you'll again want to stay safe, and it continues to appear as if it's weakening, and that is a good sign here. But again, as we look back down to the south and west from our area back into Tennessee, our next system is coming off the Alabama border, and that will likely work its way north and east as we stretch way out here, looking down around Cleveland, Tennessee. But this has come across the Tennessee-Alabama border just below Tullahoma, Tennessee, and will angle north and east. But it's not as impressive as what we have seen earlier in that area. And going back over in the Bowling Green area, this is a portion along I-65, the Parkway there, the Louis B. Nunn Parkway, and Bowling Green with a heavy thunderstorm, and again, possible tornadic activity in that area coming off that system. We talked about Louisville getting a very strong system through earlier, tornado warnings and possible tornado touchdowns just north and northeast of Louisville on into Carroll County, riding I-71 up that way towards Cincinnati.
Hey Jim, one second. We do have video of that storm that came out of Campbell and Claiborne County, Tennessee, that produced a tornado in Scott County, Tennessee. I'll kind of step off the shot here, and we can just kind of toss to that video real quickly. I'm not sure if our mics will be on while it will be on. Okay, so we're kind of going to watch this together. Again, this is the storm that was coming out of Scott County, Tennessee. It came over I-75 in Campbell County, Tennessee. It came through Claiborne County, and now it's pushing into Bell County. But again, this was when it was tornado warned over in Scott County, Tennessee. Right now, there is no formal tornado warning in Bell County, but again, this is what this storm has a history of. It has a history of producing a tornado in Scott County, Tennessee. And when I have heard of some damage in the Sunbright area of Scott County, Tennessee, and again, this is just outside of our viewing area over far northeastern Tennessee, but this is the same storm that is coming through portions of Bell County, and you can see here that we are watching out for that very closely. And again, no formal tornado warning at this hour for Bell County, but this storm does have a history of some damage, and also it has a history of producing a tornado over Scott County, also pushing into portions of Campbell County, Tennessee. I have not heard of any, haven't heard of any injuries, I should say, so I'm not sure about that. But you can see there coming over the trees, it's kind of hard to see whether it's on the ground, but you can kind of see right here we are tracking a little bit of rotation. I'll step off the wall, Josh. If you can put the wall back up, that'd be awesome. And sorry about that. I thought I could kind of walk over the video. That's my apologies, but I was gonna talk about the rotation there and kind of point it out for the viewers. But you could see kind of over the trees that we were tracking that kind of tornadic supercell as it moved through places in Scott County, Tennessee. But right now, some good news. We have no formal tornado warnings in our region, but we do have a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag. And that was the same storm that came through Scott County. It came through Campbell County, came through Claiborne County, now pushing into Bell County. And again, that's approaching places like Middlesboro, also approaching places like Pineville. Let's probably kind of go back to that video real quick, Josh, and we can kind of point that out to the viewers. You can see right here is like the area of the storm that we're watching out for. You can see those clouds kind of rotating, the trees also blowing around, and you can see some pretty nice video coming through Scott County, Tennessee earlier this evening. You can see there that rotation back in the distance, and that is the same parent storm that is coming through Bell County right now. But some good news, and again, we wish that people weren't on the roads during this video while this was taken. We hope that everyone takes those warnings seriously and goes to their safe place. But again, and you can see some debris actually going around that tornado over in Scott County. So we do have some report of damage, some good news. I haven't heard of any reports of injuries. but this storm does have a history of some damage in Scott County, Tennessee. So going back to the radar, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning for portions of Bell County. Let's kind of zoom into that storm if we can, Jim, close to Middlesboro. And again, I do want to stress we have no tornado warnings, but we do have a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag. And notice we do have a little bit of a hook echo starting to show up here on the southwestern flank of that storm. There's your inflow notch right here. That's air going towards the storm. You have your outflow right here, air going away from the storm. So we are tracking a little bit of rotation just to the north and west of downtown Middlesboro, and this will continue slowly pushing off to the north and east close to Pineville. So again, there is no tornado warning, but still just go ahead and go to your safe place and kind of ride this storm out, as this could produce some strong straight line winds, also some small hail. And that comes through Pineville in about 10 minutes or so, also crossing the highway there. And that will continue moving off to the north and east into portions of northeastern Bell County. But for now, we are here for a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag. What does that mean? That means the rotation is not strong enough for a tornado warning, but it is there. It's not going away. And even in that last scan, Jim, you can see here, that last little scan, there's a hook right there. So I would not be shocked to see the Weather Service in Jackson maybe pull the trigger on this over the next couple of scans, especially if that holds together. Now, one thing, Jim, I want to mention that southeast Kentucky, Bell County, Harlan County, Letcher County, they haven't really had a lot of rain or clouds today. They've actually had mainly dry weather, and that could actually help to kind of enhance that activity over the next little bit. Would you agree with that statement?
There's no question about that, Cameron. And, you know, while we're talking about this serious nature in Bell County, I was watching a fairly strong storm right here with lightning involved in it. This is on the Fentress County portion of Tennessee into Wayne County, the Monticello area there, that is producing some heavy rainfall as well. But again, yes, you're exactly right about that situation with the rain-free pretty much the day there in portions of Harlan County and Bell County.
Hey Jim, can we go to velocity really quickly? I'm looking at some radar data behind the scenes, and that couplet seems to be getting its act together just to the north of Middlesboro. So yeah, you can see it right here. So here's Middlesboro. So Middlesboro, this is to the north of you. This is your velocity couplet right here. Your green color, that's wind going towards the radar in Knoxville. Red color, that's wind going away from the radar in Knoxville. And this is your circulation just to the north of Middlesboro, just to the south of Pineville. And again, that will continue pushing off to the north and east over the next few minutes there. This is Highway 25E. I would not want to be driving on Highway 25E from Pineville to Middlesboro over the next 10 to 15 minutes. Again, there is no formal tornado warning, but this storm is starting to get its act together a little bit as it pushes through portions of Bell County. So again, just kind of keep that in mind as we go over the next couple of minutes there, as if that trend continues, we could possibly see a tornado warning issued, especially as this moves off to the north and east in an environment that really hasn't been touched all too much today. So most of us have had cloud cover, also showers and non-severe thunderstorms, but far southeast Kentucky is an exception to that. They really have had dry weather all day today, so the atmosphere is still prime for severe weather in far southeast Kentucky. And again, we are tracking that rotational signature right here just to the south of Pineville, and this is about to cross the Highway 25E corridor very close to the Ferndale area, pushing over to near US 119, close to the Ponza area, and this is going back to near Harlan County as you go back to the east. So again, we are watching out for a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag, and this storm has a history of producing some damage. And notice as we zoom out, we are tracking this little couplet here that is just to the north of Middlesboro, and that's the area of the storm that we are watching out for. This warning does go into effect until 7 o'clock this evening, so we will be here for about the next 12 minutes or so, kind of looking at how the National Weather Service in Jackson issues this storm. If they let it expire, then we will go back to regular programming. If they are going to kind of issue a new warning, we'll hold it here for sure. But right now we are kind of keeping an eye on this system. And Jim, can you kind of give us a little bit of a recap on what we're looking at kind of area-wise? Let's do a little bit of a reset, because if we're on Facebook, I know a lot of people are wondering, well, what about my area? What about my area? Really, this is the only warning we have on the board right now.
That's true. We're heading toward Highway 119, which is the path from Pineville on over to Harlan there. But this began, what time? About maybe 5:15, I think, in Tennessee, in Morgan County around Sunbright. and track north and northeast across Huntsville. I'm thinking the video that we saw a minute ago was actually from Huntsville, Tennessee. We were talking Scott County is where it's from, but I think that was in Huntsville. And then this system worked its way across I-75 into Campbell County, Tennessee, and then on into a portion of Claiborne County. And then, of course, what we're focused on at this moment is Bell County, Kentucky, as this storm is tracked on into Middlesboro and is working its way toward Pineville and north and northeast. And we've watched this system weaken. This was a very strong system, a strong tornado that was confirmed in Morgan County, Tennessee, there in the Sunbright-Wartburg area, if you're familiar with that. But that's where we stand now, and this system continues to work north and northeast as it's riding Highway 119 on into the Harlan community.
Yeah, so still watching out for that storm that is north of Middlesboro, south of Pineville, and again, it's still getting its act together. You can see here, there's your inflow notch, and we're getting a little bit of a hook there on the back southwestern flank of that storm. So air is rushing into the storm right here, and that's why there's a little bit of that U shape right there just to the south of Pineville, and your possible tornadic circulation would be in this region, just to the south of Clear Creek Spring, also just to the south of Pineville, pushing off to the north and east. Again, this is the boundary of the warning, and this is approaching the boundary of that warning. So we'll see over the next couple of minutes here if the National Weather Service wants to extend this warning into further Bell County, also possibly close to the Harlan County area, and the Harlan County border is right here on my finger. And this is US 119. If we can, Jim, can we look at the velocity really quickly and see what the wind pattern is doing with this system? And again, that's really tightening up there just to the north of Middlesboro and just to the south of Pineville. You can see here as we zoom in that we're tracking a circulation that is approaching US 25E. So right here, there's your circulation, and that is getting its act together. So again, those green colors, that's wind going towards Knoxville. The red color, that's wind going away from Knoxville. So there is your rotation right here, approaching US 25E between Pineville and Middlesboro. This is north of Middlesboro, and this is south of downtown Pineville, again approaching the US 25E corridor. And this is a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag, and that will last until 7 o'clock this evening. And we will see here shortly if the Weather Service wants to extend this off to the east. And I do think we have a little bit of a graphic for you guys for the WYMT First Alert Weather app, and that's a great tool to have as we go into this evening. Again, if you don't have that, you need to have multiple ways to receive warnings, as most of us have a tornado watch in place as we go into the rest of this evening until 8 o'clock at the earliest. We could see that extended, but for right now we have a tornado watch in place, and that will last through 8 o'clock this evening. So go ahead and have that First Alert Weather app. It's free to download, and there are plenty of great tools to have on that app. You have the radar, the app videos, the watches, the warnings. And Jim, I'm looking at this kind of behind the scenes here on a high definition radar on my phone, and that's a pretty good looking storm in terms of severe weather that's kind of in between Middlesboro and Pineville. So I would expect at the least a severe thunderstorm warning will be extended to the east and possibly a little bit higher if this trend continues.
Well, I'm not sure, Cameron, but it looks as if there may be some hail within this system, as we're seeing the shade of purple coming through a little bit, and that would, I think, back up the fact that you're talking about the strengthening of the system. The hail would perhaps back that up, as we're seeing some lightning strikes in that area as well, just south of Pineville. And as you mentioned, this is a slow-moving system at about 30, maybe 35 miles an hour, and it's started to really get into a creeping mode here. Maybe it moved a little quicker before we've seen it kind of slow down at this stage.
Yeah, and if you just joined us when we first came on the air, and this storm was really kind of in an ugly phase. It didn't look great in terms of severe weather, but notice now it's getting that really classic hook shape just to the south of Pineville. So again, your inflow notch is right here. You have air going into the storm right here. You have an outflow right here, the air going away from the storm, and your tornadic supercell would be somewhere in this region, really close to US 25E, just south of Pineville, just north of Middlesboro, kind of splitting the difference there between Pineville and Middlesboro. And this is your rotation really close to the Meldrum, also the Ferndale area. So if you know anybody that may be in the Ferndale or the Meldrum area, just make sure that they're aware there is some rotation heading their way over the next minute or two. Again, this severe thunderstorm warning is in effect until 7 o'clock this evening. And notice that next radar scan, and we still have that hook echo right here. So we're going to keep an eye on this storm very closely as it pushes off into portions of northeastern Bell County. And this is US 119 that goes from Harlan over to near Pineville. And again, this is kind of following that track. So you see here, and if you're in TJ, you're not in the warning right now, but this could be in your neck of the woods over the next little bit here. So some first alert timings. Again, these are approximate arrival times. Don't take these to the bank, but you can see Ferndale basically now, the Ponza area 6:58, near the Miracle area 7:05, TJ 7:07, Cardinal 7:13, and this is if this holds together as it pushes off to the east. And I'm curious to see what the Weather Service wants to do over the next little bit, especially since the storm is beginning to move out of that severe thunderstorm warning watch box. But again, we do have a tornado watch in place, and that will last for most of us until 8 o'clock this evening. So again, don't let your guard down. We're not done with the severe weather chance just yet, and you need to have multiple ways to receive warnings as we go into this evening, as a level 3 enhanced risk of severe weather continues for most of us into the rest of this evening. But once that cold front passes, we do get a little bit of a break as that severe weather threat comes to a close. And Jim, before it's all said and done, we could go from severe weather today to some snowflakes by Wednesday evening. So how about welcome to April?
Well, you know, if you don't like the weather in eastern Kentucky and the mountains, just hang around a little bit. It'll
so
change
true.
for you. It's going to be one of those protect your tender plants type nights coming in here on Thursday into Friday. We will be back into the 30s in those time frames there, and then 50s for highs by the time we get to Saturday and Sunday. Sunshine for the weekend, but that seems like that may be an eternity away from where we are tonight, working with these strong to severe storms as well as the tornadic activity. But again, till 8 o'clock tonight is where about all of us will be under that tornado watch, and hoping that may expire at 8 o'clock. Along that Tennessee-Kentucky border, the tornado watch has been extended for Morgan, Scott, Campbell, and Claiborne counties, where we saw this tornado develop in Morgan County. So they have a tornado watch until 2 a.m. But for us here in the mountains in southeast Kentucky, and much of what you see on your screen, a tornado watch until 8 o'clock. So we're a little more than an hour away from that perhaps expiring. But Brent, Cameron, anything that you're finding out about what's going to be dealing with this system in Middlesbrough, if that's going to be extended?
No new updates right now, but again, that warning expires in about 4 minutes. So I do suspect that we get an update here soon from the Weather Service in Jackson on what they want to do with this system. And again, it's really held its own over the past 10 to 15 minutes. It kind of has that backward C shape there, or that hook echo, as it moves into portions of northeastern Bell County. And this may be from the radar in Jackson, I'm not sure. And we can kind of get a different look at it from Jackson, but you can still see here as it moves out of the warning, here is your rotation on the southwestern flank of that storm, just to the south of downtown Pineville. And again, this is US 119 that goes from Pineville, or from near Pineville, over to the TJ area. As we go into portions of northeastern Bell County, this is the Harlan County border, and there's your new warning right there. So let's go ahead and take a look at who's in and who's out of that warning if we can. And I'm sure that's also going to be a tornado possible severe thunderstorm warning. So this is a severe thunderstorm warning for Bell, portions of Harlan, also extreme southern Leslie County. So again, I think this will mainly be a Bell and a Harlan situation, but still, if you are in extreme southern Leslie County, close to the Harlan border, this is also a severe thunderstorm warning for you, and this is going to be in effect until what time, Jim? When you find that out, just pass that along to me, and I can kind of pass that along to them as well. So just kind of let me know. But this is going to be a severe thunderstorm warning. So this is not a tornado warning, but again, a severe thunderstorm warning. But still, this storm has a history of producing some damage as we go into northeastern Tennessee. And it has a history of producing some damage in Scott County, Tennessee. And that's going to continue pushing into portions of northeastern Bell County, and that is a severe thunderstorm warning. And we're going to see if this is a tornado possible signature or a warning, and if it is, we will kind of hold this here, and this is not. So they've actually dropped the tornado possible tag for this warning, but they're still calling for 60-mile-per-hour winds and 1.5-inch hail. So that's pretty significant hail. That's ping-pong sized hail with this system. So like Jim mentioned a few minutes ago, this storm is kind of having a hail core and that is going to be another threat that we face. Ping pong ball sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts as this continues pushing off to the north and east. Now the reflectivity looking pretty good. That shows the rain in the storm, the precipitation. The velocity not as impressive as it was a few minutes ago, but still the reflectivity looking really good. And you can see here as Jim has this storm up that we have a hook echo that is coming into portions of Bell County right now. So again, there's your inflow notch. Here is your kind of southwestern flank of the storm where we could see a possible rotation. Again, nothing confirmed, nothing that is tornadic at this hour. But again, this is a severe thunderstorm warning that could produce some large hail, possibly some strong straight line winds, and maybe a quick spin up tornado if that trend continues over the next little bit there. So this is US 119. This is the TJ area, and we are tracking some large hail pushing into the TJ area, also moving into northeastern Bell County. And if this holds together, a first alert for portions of Harlan County, possibly downtown Harlan, as this moves off to the north and east. And if we can, Jim, can we do a track on this that includes Harlan, just to give them a little bit of a first alert to see how long it's going to take for it to get there. Again, this storm's moving off to the north and east, around 35 to 40 miles per hour. And you can see here with that hail core, that's putting it in Harlan at 7:27. So you have about 25-ish minutes or so until that storm is in your neck of the woods over in downtown Harlan. This is a severe thunderstorm warning with the possibility of some strong straight line winds up to 60 miles per hour. Also some large hail, possibly up to ping pong ball sized hail. And that's going to continue as we go over the next little bit here. So Jim, I'm going to ask a question to some folks in the back. If you want to hold this down for just a little minute, and I'm going to ask a question in here real quick.
Very good. That severe thunderstorm warning is in effect until 7:45 tonight for Harlan County and again portions of Bell County as this system continues to push to the north and east at about 30-35 miles per hour, slow moving. And as we're watching this system right here in Bell County bordering into Harlan County, it is continuing to stay strong, if perhaps even strengthening some. We're seeing some of the purple colors shaded in there. That is a sign of hail. To give you an idea of just how strong this storm system is, we're watching this hook echo. It's at the bottom of the red and the yellow colors here. You're seeing that is continuing to develop more definitively, and now it's just changing some here as we watch the next sweep. This radar look we're seeing here in portions of this is from Knoxville, actually Morristown, Tennessee. The severe thunderstorm warning is continuing till 7:45 p.m. This is for what's left of the system in Bell County into Harlan County. We're talking about communities like Everett's through the Pine Mountain area, along Pine Mountain, and of course Ray in that neighborhood of Harlan County, Bledsoe and Salyer, as we're watching this continue to work north and east. This is a system that weakened a bit earlier as we saw it come across the Tennessee-Kentucky border right there around Jellicoe, Tennessee, portions of Clearfield, Tennessee, which is in Claiborne County, and across Fondee Mountain into Middlesboro. And now it continues to track and push off to the east. But the tornado warning was issued for Morgan, Scott, Campbell, and Claiborne County, Tennessee's. Once this system pushed on into Bell County, basically it was a tornado watch slash thunderstorm, severe thunderstorm watch, and now it has been upgraded to a severe thunderstorm warning. This runs until 7:45, and we have, well, about a good 45 minutes to go until this will expire, hoping that it will expire. We had talked about a couple of other systems, one working pretty heavy. This is a real strong thunderstorm, dumping a lot of rain right along the Tennessee-Kentucky border from Fentress County, Tennessee, and portions of Scott into Wayne County. And this is going to carry on over into, again, portions of Wayne County, Monticello, and moving north and northeast into the Pine Knot area. This may glance into a portion of Williamsburg as it works north and northeast. But this has been quite an outbreak today, especially starting this morning up in the Lexington area. I-75 was completely shut down for a good time late this morning because of debris on the road. Power lines fell down in the Athens, Boonesboro area, and that was the story there. But the story that we're most concerned about, Cameron, is right here in our neighborhood in the mountains in Bell County, tracking into Harlan County. And that hook echo, as you stepped out a minute ago, looked like it was really seriously developing. It has kind of changed a bit since you came back into the studio, as this is heading into South Wallens, making its way toward up 119 to Harlan.
Yeah, so I think right now the biggest threat from this storm is large hail. We could see ping pong ball sized hail as this moves along the US 119 corridor from Bell County pushing into Harlan County. So again, a first alert in the South Wallens area. We could see some pretty large hail, maybe some strong straight line winds. We do have a reporter in Harlan, and we are working on getting some video from downtown Harlan as this storm approaches over the next little bit there. But again, the biggest story right now with this system is we do have a pretty significant hail core here that is close to the Bell, also the Harlan County line between the TJ area, also between the South Wallens area. And again, this is US 119, and this is the Bell Harlan County line. My finger is on the Bell Harlan County line, and this is the Cardinal area. And right here where that dark purple is, we could see possibly some pretty large hail with this system. Now we do have some video, if we can toss to it, from what this storm did earlier this evening, and this was from the Scott County, Tennessee area. And again, we had a tornado warned confirmed storm earlier this evening. This was the same storm as it came through Scott County, Tennessee. It came across I-75 in Campbell County, pushing through portions of Claiborne County, and then it came into far southeastern Kentucky. But thank goodness for us, severe weather worries with this storm. But that was not the case as it came through portions of Scott County, Tennessee earlier this evening. And you can see here, I'm not sure if my mic's up or not.
This is Scott County, Tennessee. Here's some of the effects from the video here. But I think this is Huntsville, Tennessee, where this is taking.
Okay.
That is where it appears that the strongest portion of this system tornadic activity coming through Scott County across.
Can we make sure that Jim's mic's on, please? Yeah, you're good. Keep going. Your mic wasn't up. No, you're good.
Morgan County into Scott County, and this is what we're seeing here. You begin to see the rotation of the tornadic activity in Huntsville, Tennessee, which made its way on into Campbell, Claiborne, and now we're dealing with the same system, the same cell from Middlesboro on east north into Harlan County, Kentucky. And as Cameron mentioned, there's a lot of hail involved with this system.
Yeah, I think that's what the biggest threat with this system. I want to give a heads up to Harlan. This is a pretty large hail core. If this holds together, just a heads up in Harlan, a pretty large hail core moving towards you over the next, let's say, 20 minutes, maybe give or take a little bit less than that. But just a heads up, we're not really tracking a tornadic supercell with this, but we are tracking the potential for some pretty large hail. So we want to give you that first alert. If you live in Harlan, go ahead and kind of take those precautions for that hail, because we could see hail up to ping pong ball size. That's pushing into your area over the next little bit. You see here these timings. Again, these are approximate timings, so don't take this to the bank, but you see here 7:19 for Harlan, so about 15 minutes or so over in downtown Harlan for the potential for some pretty large hail that's sitting close to the Bell, also the Harlan County border. If we had a tornadic rotation, that would be right here, kind of where the hook echo is, but again, that doesn't look as impressive as it did close to the US 20, or not US 23, between Pineville and Middlesboro, that roadway there, as it crossed over that roadway. It doesn't look as impressive, but again, these are cyclic, so they can kind of spin up and spin down as they continue pushing off to the north and east. Okay, we're getting reports of sirens going off in Harlan, so there's no tornado warning in place. So if you're hearing a siren in Harlan, again, there's no tornado warning. There is a severe thunderstorm warning, but there is no tornado warning over in Harlan County if you're hearing those sirens. But we are watching out for the potential for some large hail as this moves off to the east. So here's Harlan. Again, there is no tornadic threat right now. Could that change a little bit later? Of course, it's severe weather. But again, right now, the biggest threat from this storm will be from hail. Let's go to some video from Harlan if we can. You can see here that this is from Harlan County as that storm is approaching. Now, right now, all is well, I guess you can say, over in Harlan. Not too crazy. Again, we have a few light showers, also some cloudy conditions. But this is dash cam footage from the Harlan County area over in downtown Harlan, and this scene will look very different over the next 15 to 20 minutes as that storm continues pushing off to the east. Again, we are not tracking a tornadic threat with this storm, but we are tracking possibly some large hail coming into Harlan. So I'm interested to see what Jack picks up if that hail core pushes over downtown Harlan. He is at a hotel, correct? Jennifer? Okay, cool. So he's safe and sound over in downtown Harlan. So we are good with that. Let's go back to the radar if we can, please, Josh, and we'll kind of walk you through this system. The current time is 7:08. You're watching WYMT, and we are on the air with some severe weather coverage. And I'm Cameron Aaron alongside Jim Freeman, and we are tracking a severe thunderstorm warning as it pushes into portions of Harlan County. Again, this is the storm we're talking about here. And that hook echo, Jim, it won't go away. It's just kind of hanging in there as it pushes northeast.
It has been, and we've seen it wane just a little bit, but it continues to strengthen and impress as it, as you can, obviously the term hook echo, you can see what it's doing here. And this is a severe thunderstorm warning that runs for the better part of a half an hour until 7:45 tonight for Bell County and Harlan County. And if you have your vehicle outdoors and you have access to a carport or a garage, or maybe pull into a drive-through somewhere, maybe a bank drive-through to get some protection until this passes on through. The downside is that this is ping pong size hail, and it's a slow moving system. This is going at about maybe 30 miles an hour, 35, that may be a stretch in that category. Now, once we work our way through much of this past midnight tonight, we'll be dealing with some heavier rainfall in the overnight hours into the early portion of Wednesday as the cold front will come through, and that will start leaving us with some cooler weather. We'll be in the lower 40s on Wednesday and Thursday, and then Wednesday night into Thursday night, we'll have the chance of some frost, certainly some very cold conditions for your tender plants and the like. Thursday mornings and then Friday morning as well. So keep that in mind. Even though we're talking about severe storms at this moment, that's what's ahead, to give yourself a little heads up and some preparation to take care of what may be in the garden or maybe you can bring in on the front porch Wednesday night into Thursday night. But again, this system continues to track north and east, and let's go ahead and put the track on it here and see what we're coming up with. 7:14 for South Wallens. You've got about 4 or 5 minutes to go ahead and take some caution, take care there and caution, and also watch out for maybe anything you have outdoors you want to bring indoors. There's some wind, some strong wind associated with this. We're talking about straight line winds in the neighborhood of 50 to maybe 60 miles per hour. And in some cases, straight line winds can be even more dangerous than an actual, say, Category 1 tornado. Tremont 7:16, Fresh Meadows 7:18, Loyal, where the old high school used to be, 7:20 p.m. At Harlan 7:23, Gatton at 7:26, over at Ray 7:31, Kildare 7:34, Everett 7:36, Shorttown 7:39. So this is for Bell County, Harlan County, and again, much of this system is out of Bell County. So those of you in Harlan County, it is your turn to take cover here and keep yourself safe. You'll want to go to your basement if you have access, or maybe go to a neighbor's home if they have a basement where you can get into an area of, say, maybe an interior room, or maybe down a stairwell, up under a stairway. I remember being up under a stairwell in Louisville back in the day, years ago, as tornadoes were coming through Kentuckiana in that area. But Cameron, it's been quite an afternoon here, and in our area, in the mountains, we've not really had much activity until probably about starting about 5:30 today.
Yes, that's correct. Let's do a little bit of a reset if we can, Jim. I know a lot of people are probably joining us on Facebook or on WYMT.com. We have one active warning in place across eastern Kentucky, and that is a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag. They did kind of re-put that wording in there over the last little bit. So this is now a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag. And again, this is a tornado watch, all the areas in red, and that will last through 8 p.m. for our counties in eastern Kentucky, 2 a.m. for our southwest Virginia counties, also for our northern Tennessee counties. But again, for the vast majority of us, this is a tornado watch, and that will last through 8 p.m. this evening. If we can turn on the radar here, and we can kind of show everyone what it's doing, kind of a big picture. And you can see we are tracking some heavy thunderstorms close to Lake Cumberland for Wayne County, moving into Pulaski County, also into McCreary County. And if you're in Jackson, if you're in Pikeville, if you're in Louisa, if you're in Inez, nothing going on. We're dry, but we are tracking this one warning, a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag. And this is a storm that just will not go away. It originated over in northeastern Tennessee. It had a confirmed tornado pushing out of Scott County, Tennessee into Campbell County, Tennessee, and then it moved through Claiborne County, through Bell County, and now pushing into portions of Harlan County. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of a closer look at that system, as it's now basically all the way into Harlan County now. And again, this is a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag, but I still think the bigger threat with this system will be from large hail, and that is close to the South Wallens area, really approaching downtown Harlan. And I would not want to be driving on US 119 from Harlan to Bell County until this system passes, because this is really sitting, the hail core is really sitting over that highway, and that will continue moving off to the north and east. Now, this is the eastern extent of that warning, and that warning goes until 7:45, correct, Jim? Is that right?
It is 7:45, yes.
Yeah, so 7:45, that's about 30 minutes or so. And again, if we have a quick spin up, it'll be in this southwestern flank here, just to the south and west of South Wallens. Again, your inflow notch right here, and your possible tornado, if it was there, but again, no confirmation of that. This is really just a hail threat, also a straight line wind threat at the moment. But still, go ahead and keep an eye on this, and let's just kind of get through this thing together as it pushes off to the east, and as that hook echo also continues over the next little bit there. So next in line is South Wallens and Harlan, and then after that, Everett's over here along Highway 38. So this will move off to the east about 30 to 35 miles per hour. And again, the main threat with this system, and there's a tornado warning. So we now have a new tornado warning for portions of Harlan County. And I guess that they really saw that rotation tighten up. And again, that's your hook echo right here. So we now have a new tornado warning. And that does include the city of Harlan. So go ahead and go to your safe place. Again, we talked about this 30 to 45 minutes ago, that this was a possibility. So now it's here. The tornado warning is out for portions of Harlan County, and that will move into portions of Letcher County. I'm going to look and see kind of what the warning says here behind the scenes really quickly, so give me 1 minute.
Okay, it goes until 8 o'clock tonight,
okay.
The tornado warning. This storm, Cameron, is tracking about 125 miles so far, about 2.5 hours from Sunbright, Tennessee to Harlan, Kentucky. So we've watched this for more than 125 miles, tracking this system, and it's been quite impressive as you check on more details about this tornado warning, which is in effect for Harlan County until 8 o'clock tonight.
Yeah, and you know, we talked about this yesterday, a possibility that we could see possibly a few long-lasting supercells, and I think this qualifies as a long-lasting supercell. And we now have a tornado warning for portions of Harlan County, portions of Letcher County, also portions of extreme southern Perry County. If we can, Jim, let's take off the radar and kind of show who's in and who's out of the polygon. And if you can, remind me one more time what when this expires, please.
This will be at 8 o'clock tonight.
Okay, so this is for the next 45 minutes. This includes Harlan. Harlan, go to your safe place. That's the lowest floor in a small room near the center.
The National Weather Service in Jackson, Kentucky has issued a tornado warning for Harlan County, East Central Bell County, Western Letcher County, Southeastern Perry County until 8 p.m. At 7:14 p.m., a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Cantinia or near Harlan, moving northeast at 50 miles per hour. Hazard, tornado and ping pong ball size hail. Source, radar indicated rotation. Impact, flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. This dangerous storm will be near Harlan around 7:20 p.m. Everett's around 7:25 p.m. Colts around 7:30 p.m. Other locations in the path of this tornadic thunderstorm include Tots, Cumberland, and Lynch. Repeating, a tornado warning has been issued until 8 p.m. for the following counties in Kentucky: Bell, Harlan, Letcher, and Perry.
into portions of Letcher County. So if we can zoom into that storm, please, Jim, that's close to Harlan, and we can kind of show you what it looks like on reflectivity. So this is the precipitation in the storm, and you can kind of still see that little hook echo feature. But again, I do want to stress the hail threat, the hail core is still there. We have some large hail sitting close to South Wallens, also close to downtown Harlan on US 119. The possible tornado is just to the south of US 119 right here. Did you want to jump in with there real quickly? Did you have something?
No,
oh, I thought you were going to say this. Sorry about that.
You're good.
If we can put on the velocity, let's take a look at the wind here. And this will show a different kind of look at the sail. This shows the wind pattern in this. Look at that. There's a pretty tight couplet just to the south and west of Harlan. So let's kind of here, let's keep it here, and I'll kind of go over here. If we can go to the east just a little bit, and we can kind of see, so here's Harlan. Let's hold it here. Here's downtown Harlan. Actually, let's kind of go back. Sorry about that. So there's Harlan right here. There's your possible tornado just to the, and I'm talking just to the south and west of downtown Harlan, but you need to be in your safe place. That's the lowest floor in a small room, no windows, have on a helmet, as this is now a tornado warning, as this rotation is pushing right into downtown Harlan. So no one should be driving again on US 119 from Jenkins all the way to Pineville, because this is going to follow US 119 from Harlan County down into Letcher County. So again, your call to action, South Wallens, downtown Harlan, Everts, Pine Mountain, you have to be in your safe place. Again, this is a pretty tight circulation. It's tightened up over the past 10 to 15 minutes, Jim, and the Weather Service decided to go ahead and issue that tornado warning. And you can see there, it's pretty put together there just to the south and west of Harlan.
Well, you know, it's been interesting to watch this. As mentioned, it's been moving for more than 100 miles already. And with the tornado warning, you want to take care, keep yourself safe, get to those low spots in your home, the basement, get under a stairwell, or maybe run to a neighbor's home if you need to do that, but get into a sturdy structure. If you're driving, pull off, go into a restaurant, as Cameron mentioned, maybe a shopping area, whatever the case may be, a gas station, but you want to keep yourself safe. That's the #1 priority here, because this is a life-threatening event. We're talking about ping-pong-sized hail. That's going to be damage to your vehicle. However, 60-mile-per-hour straight-line winds are also a part of this event that is moving very slowly at about 30 miles per hour. So it is taking a sweet time and making sure everybody is impacted up the spine of the Appalachians here, working on into to Harlan and up Highway 119.
Yes, so we do have that tornado warning in place. I'm doing a little bit of reading here behind the scenes to see what kind of the Weather Service is going on here.
You do that. I'll check on see what we might have, maybe with some debris in this area, as we've tracked this storm across Fondue Mountain, and seeing some areas of debris along Fondue Mountain into Kentucky, Bell County, and this system has worked its way up through Pineville, and now is in basically all the system is in Harlan County and Letcher County. You're in the bullseye too, all the way up to Whitesburg, and of course a portion, just a small portion of Perry County on that southeast side is a portion of this warning area, which is a tornado warning. This runs until 8 o'clock tonight for these basically 3 counties in the mountains southeast Kentucky.
Before we zoom in, Jim, I should also point out we have a new severe thunderstorm warning for portions of McCreary, Wayne, Laurel, Whitley, and Knox County. This is for a storm capable of producing some strong straight line winds. Nothing tornadic with that storm close to London, but a first alert for London. Also Corbin, this supercell is pushing into your direction. But again, this is not a tornadic storm, but this is a strong straight line wind. Also a hail threat as it pushes off to the north and east close to London, also Corbin. Let's go back to our storm though that's close to Harlan, and that is the most dangerous on the board, as we have a possible tornado that is approaching the downtown Harlan area. And again, if you are in Harlan, you have got to be in your safe place. Again, that's the lowest floor in a small room, no windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. You also want to have on a helmet. Also put on shoes just in case you are hit by a tornado. You have those shoes, also that helmet on. If we can, Jim, let's put on a track, and can we start it at Harlan and just kind of put it off to the north and east at 50 miles per hour, as the Weather Service has kind of upped the speed there to 50 with this storm pushing out of Harlan County into Letcher County over the next 30 minutes or so. If not, just let me know and I'll kind of, yeah, there we go. So awesome,
There we go,
sweet.
50 miles an hour.
Yes, so that'll be coming through places like Pine Mountain 731, we got Gordon 742, Cumberland 743, Lynch 747, Blackie 751. So all these areas are under the tornado warning, but again, these are approximate arrival times. This is not take this to the bank and don't wait on this. If you live in Pine Mountain, don't wait until 731. Go ahead and go to your safe place right now, as this is a tornado warning. Some good news. I've not seen anything that's confirmed a tornado, so that's some good news there. But still, it doesn't take long for these things, especially with the atmosphere that we have over eastern Kentucky today. It does not take long for those things to spin up or spin down. If we can, let's go back to the velocity couplet. I'd love to see what that looks like here. And that is going to be close to downtown Harlan. And again, there's your couplet really sitting over Harlan right now. And there this kind of pink color, that's wind going towards Jackson. So we now are, this is the radar from Jackson. So this pink color is going north, this blue color is going south. And again, actually that's flipped. This blue color is going north, this pink color is going south. Anyways, your rotation is sitting over downtown Harlan, and that will continue really riding US 119 into eastern Harlan County and then entering into Letcher County. The Letcher County line is sitting right here. So you can see we are coming into portions of Letcher County and Whitesburg. You're included in this. In Whitesburg, you have plenty of time to go to your safe place. This is a storm that's impacting Harlan. And again, you're in Whitesburg, you're in that tornado warning. So go ahead and go to your safe place. Again, don't wait on this, and you need to be in your safe place right now. If you know anyone that's in Harlan County, that's east of downtown Harlan, close to Everett, if you know anyone that's around Cumberland or around Whitesburg, go ahead and call them. Give them a text. Let them know that there is a tornado warning with this storm as it pushes out of Harlan County into Letcher County. Jim, you got something?
I just was going to mention that, you know, we've seen these storms come out of Tennessee. This one originated back in Sunbright, Morgan County, Tennessee. This system that we're watching track north and east, it's come through portions of McCreary County, Wayne County, out of Fentress County, Tennessee, which is Jamestown. That's come out of the central time zone into the eastern time zone. It is bearing down north and east toward Corbin, London, and that area. That's just a very strong storm there. It's not what we're talking about in the Harlan County and Letcher County areas. This is a storm that's going to lay down a lot of rain. There's a lot of wind associated with that storm just southwest of London and Corbin. But again, as you mentioned, Cameron, the Harlan area, the tornado warning is in effect for another 35 minutes. That'll run till 8 o'clock tonight. And the way this system's gone, we wouldn't be surprised if it continues to be extended. It's been
it's very
extended
cyclic.
Yes,
It's very cyclic, but again,
probably about 8 counties, I guess.
yeah, and that possible tornado is sitting over downtown Harlan. So again, if you're in Harlan, you have got to be in your safe place. Next in line is Everett. So if you live in Everett, if you live in eastern Harlan County or southwestern Letcher County, that does include the city of Whitesburg, you have got to be in your safe place, as this is a tornado warning in place for far southeastern Kentucky. If we can, Jim, really quickly, can we take a look at the severe thunderstorm warning, because this cell has a potential to produce some strong straight line winds, also some large hail, and that is going to come into a pretty populated part of eastern Kentucky. We're talking London, also the Corbin area. So if we can look at the radar real quickly and kind of zoom into the Cumberland Valley, and you can see, I want to stress, this is not a tornado warning, but this is a severe thunderstorm warning. But this could produce large hail, possibly up to quarter-sized hail, and possibly winds up to 60 miles per hour. And again, this will continue pushing off to the north and east. So a heads up in Corbin, a heads up in London. This is not tornadic, but this is heavy. This is possibly that could produce some hail and possibly some strong straight line winds. And again, that will continue moving off to the north and east over the next few minutes there. All right, let's go back to our tornado warned storm in southeastern Kentucky. And again, we have no confirmation of a tornado on the ground. That's some good news there. But again, you still have got to take this seriously, because we're still tracking that hook echo, that little inflow notch we have right here. So that means the wind is going into the storm here. It's wrapping around the backside right there. Oh, looks like we kind of jumped there real quickly, but
somebody hit the space bar there accidentally.
It is all good. So again, your possible tornado would be somewhere near Harlan and pushing off to the east. So go ahead and go to your safe place if you live in eastern Harlan County. If you live in western Letcher County, again, this is the storm that's approaching Corbin and London. This is not tornadic, but the one that is producing possibly some large hail and some strong straight line winds. Now this storm is tornadic, and again, this is a hook echo that is kind of approaching the Everett area now. So if you live south of US 119 near Everett, if you live near 421 near Harlan, just go ahead and go to that safe place. Again, time is running out if you live in the Everett area for this possible tornadic circulation. As this continues pushing off to the north and east, if you live close to Pine Mountain, we could see some pretty large hail. You can see here these dark red colors and those purple colors. That could be hail up to quarter size, possibly more than quarter-sized hail. But again, we're on the air for a possible tornado close to the Harlan area, and we have a reporter in Harlan. So Jennifer, let me know if he's kind of able to give an update or a report of what kind of he's seeing over in downtown Harlan. Again, still kind of too close for comfort, so he needs to stay sheltered for now, but this will continue moving away from Harlan over the next 3 to 5 minutes. So we will give you the all clear in Harlan in just a little bit, but not right now. Stay sheltered if you live in downtown Harlan. And next up, we have Everett on Highway 38. So again, if you live on Highway 38 from Harlan to Everett, pushing into eastern Harlan County, you have got to be in your safe place. Cumberland, you're also in this tornado warned polygon, and you also have to be in your safe place. And again, nobody should be driving on US 119 from Jenkins to the Harlan-Bell County lines. This is a pretty wide stretch of real estate as this storm continues pushing along the US 119 corridor. And this also includes the city of Whitesburg. So go ahead and go to that safe place. That is the lowest floor, a small room near the center, away from windows. You don't want to be in a car. You don't want to be in a mobile home. So if you live in Whitesburg, you have plenty of time to seek more substantial shelter. And same story in Cumberland. You have plenty of time to seek shelter if you're living in eastern Harlan County, also Letcher County. And again, technically southern Perry County is in that warning, but I do suspect the tornadic part of the storm will stay mainly in Harlan, also in Letcher County. So again, you have plenty of time to seek shelter over the next, let's say, 30 to 45 minutes. This warning goes until 8 o'clock. Is that correct?
It is till 8 o'clock.
Okay.
And as you hunker down, have your phone with you, that WYMT weather app, and you can listen and monitor what we're doing right here on WYMT TV, or turn the TV up loud as you work your way to the lowest level of your home, an interior room, no windows preferably, and keep yourself safe, as this system is very dangerous. This is a life-threatening system we've tracked through at least 6 counties. This may be into 7 counties, counting Letcher County. But Cameron, it's been now more than 2 hours. We've been tracking this system that started way back in Tennessee.
Yes, that is correct. I'm also watching out for some updates from the National Weather Service office, and they are going to continue that severe thunderstorm warning for our friends close to London and Corbin. And let's see, they have gone ahead and introduced a tornado possible tag for that severe thunderstorm warning. So that now includes portions of northern Whitley and southern Laurel, also portions of northwestern Knox County. So this is a tornado warning pushing out of Harlan County into Letcher County. This is a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag. Now, usually we would like to kind of focus on those in a normal day because of the tornado possible tag on those. But for now, we're going to focus on the actual tornado warning that's moving from Harlan County into Letcher County. But again, a heads up in London, also Corbin. Strong winds, yes. Large hail, yes. But the better chance for a tornado looks to be right now in Harlan County, moving into Letcher County. Still no reports of anything on the ground, which is great news, but still, with the atmosphere that we have across eastern Kentucky this evening, it's imperative that you go ahead and take this seriously and you go to your safe place. And again, that will continue pushing off to the north and east over the next little bit there. The current time is 7:31. You're watching WYMT. I'm First Alert meteorologist Cameron Aaron, and we have Jim Freeman also in the Weather Center on this Tuesday evening. So we are kind of tag teaming this system here as it pushes off to the north and east. We still have a level 3 enhanced risk of severe weather this evening. And I know we had a pretty quiet afternoon, also a quiet morning for the most of us. A few areas of damage close to the I-64 corridor. But for most of us, we were relatively quiet for most of today. But again, Jim, that's starting to change as we see some better dynamics, also the thermodynamics from this really strong cold front begin to move into our direction.
Yes, and someone's hit a button over here that he should not have hit, Cameron. You're going to have to come bail me out.
Okay.
The old meteorologist here is shaking off some of the rust here tonight. But we have been tracking these systems. This system in the Corbin area, London area, is getting ready to cross I-75. In fact, a portion of it has already done so. And we're watching that move north and east. Again, that is a severe thunderstorm warning with a just a footnote about a tornado possibility in that area. But the main theme right now, the main show is taking place in Harlan County as this system works north and east up 119, Highway 421 through that area on up into Letcher County and just a very small portion of the southern area of Perry County. But this is headed toward Whitesburg. Whitesburg, you still have a fair amount of time to get yourself in a safe position there. But again, straight line winds with this system and upwards of 60 miles per hour. Ping pong size hail, dealing with that. That's certainly a danger. You don't want to be outside with that for sure unless you're in some type of vehicle perhaps or some other kind of protection. But this system is continuing to work with us as we've watched it track from Morgan County, Tennessee. This was about maybe 5:15, 5:30. This system caught Cameron's eye. We were actually in break at that time. And he saw that. He said, we need to watch this. Well, we started watching it. We still are, as it is covering more than 100 miles. And now it's from Tennessee into Kentucky. And this has been going on for probably about at least 2 hours, maybe a shade beyond that. But we continue to watch this velocity as it is right here in the Everett's area. In that area, we're seeing a very strong wind, and we have been watching a developing and impressively developing hook echo, which is again part of the elements for a tornadic activity. And this system has just continued to hold together. It's waned a little bit a time or two, but it continues to stay strong. With hail in this system, you see some of those purple colors. That is large hail as the radar arm sweeps through there. And it continues to see hail showing in the Pine Mountain area and then heading toward Cumberland and Whitesburg. A tornado warning in effect for Harlan County, Letcher County, and a southeastern portion of Perry County until 8 o'clock tonight. So 25 minutes to go until that, as we're working on 7:35, heading toward 7:35. And again, this system is on its way toward Whitesburg. You still have time to take cover, get yourself protected. Likewise, for those of you in Cumberland up through the Tri-Cities area of Harlan County. Cameron?
Yeah, can we go back to the velocity couplet if we can, Jim? I saw a pretty good couplet there near Everett. So here you go. And this is coming from the Jackson radar. So these blue colors, that's wind going towards Jackson, the radar in Jackson. The red color, that's wind going away from the radar in Jackson. So where those two are touching, we have a pretty tight couplet near US 119, near the Everett's area, also close to Pine Mountain. So again, this is a possible tornado. Now, some good news, I have not heard of any reports at this hour. But again, if you know anybody in the Everett's area, also pushing into eastern Harlan County, and then next up in line is Letcher County, just give them a call, give them a text, let them know. And look at that. This thing is tightening up pretty well, Jim, just to the south of US 119. And this is Ridgeway. This is Highway 38. So between US 119 and Highway 38, we have a pretty tight circulation pushing into eastern Harlan County. And like we talked about earlier, southeastern Kentucky really not having a lot of moisture or cloud cover today. So this atmosphere is pretty untapped in terms of severe weather potential. So we are tracking a pretty tight couplet. This is imperative that you take this storm seriously. This is a possible tornado into eastern Harlan County, and that will continue pushing off to the east over the next little bit there, pushing off around 40 to 45 miles per hour. And that will continue over the next little bit. We have a tornado warning in place for Harlan County, also for extreme southern Perry County and for Letcher County. But again, I do think the better chance for a tornado will be in Harlan County, also in Letcher County from this storm. And we also have that severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag for a large chunk of the Cumberland Valley. That does include the city of Corbin, London just on the outskirts of that, but still keep an eye on that over the next little bit there. Also have a new severe thunderstorm warning close to the I-64 corridor. So again, we are not done with the severe weather threat just yet, as we are still tracking that cold front off to our west. Now, once the cold front passes tonight, then we can say goodbye to the severe weather. But until then, it's very important that you have multiple ways to receive warnings. Let's go ahead and zoom back into that Harlan County system near the Everett's area. And again, we have a tornado warning in place until 8 o'clock this evening, and that is in about 23 more minutes or so. Yeah, let's go to a look from Harlan, and this is coming from our reporter Jack Demler, and he is in Harlan. This is some video from there, if we can go to that real quickly. And this is what it looks like during the storm, Jennifer, or is this kind of before or after? What's this kind of looking like? Do you know? Okay, so 7:35. So this is right after the storm. So this is You can hear those sirens kind of going off there in downtown Harlan, and this is from 7:35. So right after that storm passed over in downtown Harlan, hopefully people were going to their safe place. That's why they were on the road, but we really ask people not to be driving. So if you are driving on US 119, if you know anyone that may be driving on US 119, go ahead and give them a call and give them a text if they need to go to a more substantial shelter, because no one should be in a car. But again, this is what it looked like earlier this evening from downtown Harlan. Thank you, Jack, for that video from downtown Harlan. We can give you an all clear in Harlan, the city of Harlan, not Harlan County, but the city of Harlan. All clear from this tornado warning. You can come out of your safe place. Now our attention turns to far eastern Harlan County and then moving into Letcher County. Again, Cumberland, Whitesburg, you have got to be in your safe place as we have a possible tornado close to Everett, and that will continue really just following US 119. So Everett to Cumberland, you are next in line on top of Everett right now. And again, that will continue pushing off to the east over the next little bit there. Also watching out for a tornado warning for portions of Letcher County. And here are some approximate arrival times. Again, don't take this to the bank. Go ahead and go to your safe place now. But if you live in Cumberland, it's 7:47, so we're talking less than 10 minutes until this storm is on top of you. And talking about the South Down area also later on this evening, we're talking about Flat Gap. That is in Letcher County, I want to say, over in about 8:07 this evening. So again, in Jenkins and Neon, you're not in the warning as of this moment, but if it's extended, then you will likely be in that warning later on this evening. If we can, Jim, kind of look at the velocity couplet at this hour and see if we have a new scan on the radar. And again, some good news, and that's a really tight couplet there. You can see right here. So this is a pretty significant couplet, especially for Eastern Kentucky standards. This green color, this blue color, that's wind going towards the radar in Jackson, and this red color, that's wind going away from the radar in Jackson. And there is your spin, there is your rotation. Now this storm is rotating, but I haven't seen anything that indicates it's on the ground. That's the good news there. But again, go ahead and take your shelter. This is on top of Ridgeway right now, on top of Highway 38, and that will continue pushing off to the east. And it's still a very tight couplet. So a first alert, if you live in Cumberland, you have got to be in your safe place. That's the lowest floor of your home in a small room near the center and away from windows. No mobile homes and no cars. You've got to be in a more substantial site-built structure like your friend's house, your family member's house, a restaurant, a community shelter, a convenience store. Any of these areas in eastern Harlan County, you have got to be sheltered immediately. And Jim, if we can we take a look at that storm that is close to the London-Corbin area? That is a severe thunderstorm warning, but again, that has the potential for possibly some large hail and straight line winds. Is that correct?
That is absolutely correct.
I think your mic may be muted, Jim. I think your mic may be muted. Or it might just be... There you go.
Maybe. Oh,
there you go.
I thought maybe I'd gone with it. The battery had faded on me there. No, that's not the case. I was looking for the expiration time on this system here, the warning for North Corbin and the London area, as this system is sitting almost right on top of I-75, Cameron, as you can see there. Again, it's working its way toward the north and the east, much like this system we've been following in Harlan County. But this is a severe thunderstorm warning for Corbin, London, those areas, portions of North Whitley County, Laurel County, and again heading toward the east, toward Clay County, north and northeast in the Manchester area. Okay,
so we really have one tornadic supercell on the radar right now. So if you're watching us from anywhere else, there are no active warnings, tornado warnings, I should say, besides the one that's in the Harlan area, pushing into eastern Harlan County, also pushing into Letcher County. So this is a look at the alert map, and you can see we have that one tornado warning. We also have a tornado watch that's for most of us as we go through 8 o'clock this evening. That may be extended. We'll see what the Storm Prediction Center and the National Weather Service wants to do. But again, that may be extended, so be sure to stay tuned. But technically, most of this is set to expire in 20 minutes or a little bit less than 20 minutes. If we can, let's go back to the radar and we'll kind of zoom into that Harlan County storm. As I looked behind the scenes, still a pretty good couplet there between the Everett and the Cumberland area. And you can see here near US 119, here's your couplet. This is your hook echo just to the south of the Pine Mountain area, also just to the south of Cumberland. If you live in Cumberland, you've got to be in your safe place. Again, that's the lowest floor in a small room, no windows, and kind of be in the center of the home. No cars and no mobile homes. You also want to put on a helmet and and those shoes, just in case there's a tornado, that you kind of protect your body from the debris in case that happens. But again, I do want to say we haven't had any reports of damage or a tornado from this system. Now, we have had reports of a confirmed tornado with this storm back in Tennessee. If we can, Jennifer or Josh, can we kind of pull up that video we had from Scott County, Tennessee? And this is what this storm did in Scott County, Tennessee. So this storm does have a history of producing a tornado. That's why it's very important that you take this storm seriously, especially when we have the couplet that we have. Let's take a look at that video. And you can see here we are tracking this same storm. This is when it came through Scott County, Tennessee, and it came through Campbell County, Claiborne County, Bell County, now pushing into Harlan County and Letcher County. And you see here towards the end of the video, we have a little bit of rotation. Those trees start swaying as well. So again, this is what this storm is capable of. We do have reports of some significant damage from this storm in Scott County, Tennessee. And so it's very important that you take this storm seriously, because we do have history of damage with this storm and this supercell. And this is really just, it will not go away. It's been here for a couple of hours now. We've been tracking this same storm, and it's kind of still hanging tough as it pushes through far southeastern Kentucky. So you can see there's some rotation back in the distance. And notice here over the next little bit, you'll see those trees start moving and those trees start swaying as that rotation gets a little bit closer. And again, this was not now, this is from earlier this evening from Scott County, Tennessee, but this is the same storm that is now approaching the Cumberland area of Harlan County, pushing into Letcher County. So again, this is a storm that needs to be taken seriously. It's a storm that is capable of producing a tornado in Harlan County, pushing into Letcher County. Let's go back to the radar if we can. And then again, this is the timings on that severe thunderstorm warning. And this is going to be for those places close to London, also Corbin. Again, no tornado warning for London or Corbin, but we do have a severe thunderstorm warning. And this storm could produce strong straight line winds, also heavy rain and some gusty winds and large hail. If we can, let's go back to that storm in Harlan County. This is obviously the most dangerous on the board. And again, we have no reports coming in of a tornado, but we do have that warning on, and that's in place for eastern Harlan County. Again, here is the Harlan-Letcher County line here. So my finger is on that. The possible tornado is really sitting close to US 119, just to the south of US 119, and that will continue pushing towards Cumberland. So it is very important, if you live in Cumberland, you've got to be in your safe place. And if you know anybody that may be living in Cumberland that may not know about the possibility of this tornado warning, go ahead and text them, call them, and help us spread the message that they need to be in a safe place, because this is a storm that's capable and has history, Jim, of producing damage back in Tennessee.
Well, we know. We've been talking about it for about 2.5 hours now, for certain, as this was classified as a tornado when it was in Morgan County, Tennessee, in the Sunbright area. That was confirmed, again, not long after we saw that come through in the 5 to 6 o'clock hour. Now, the deal, what you're dealing with heavy rainfall, you're dealing with hail, large hail, you're dealing with straight line winds in the neighborhood of 50 to 60 miles per hour, and the threat of tornadic activity with this system they're watching track basically along the spine of the Appalachians from Highway 119 all the way from Bell County now into Harlan County. This system, Cameron, is making its way into Letcher County. Whitesburg, you still have time to get to your safe place. And we talked about all these folks in the cars traveling up and down the road. The WYMT weather app, handy to have if you are out in your car. Maybe you don't have your radio on, or you obviously can't watch TV there, but you can follow us on the WYMT weather app. Download that today from the WYMT website. Cameron?
Yes, so I do want to pass along a couple of reports we're getting in from the 911 center in McCreary County, and this is for the storm that is coming into London and Corbin. We do have power lines down along US 27 North in McCreary County, close to Whitley City, and we have down trees and power lines near Kentucky 700, also in Whitley County, or excuse me, McCreary County near Whitley City. And that is from that storm that is pushing into London and the Corbin area at this hour. That's that severe thunderstorm warning. We just got a new update from the National Weather Service in Jackson, and they're going to continue that tornado warning for Letcher and Harlan and extreme southern Perry counties and this is going to be for a storm capable of producing a tornado close to Cumberland. So again, this is very important. If you live close to Cumberland, you've got to be in your safe place immediately. That's a small room on the lowest floor near the center and away from windows, and that warning is going to last for another 12 minutes or so until 8 o'clock this evening. So as we put on the track here and push this off to the north and east, a first alert if you live in extreme eastern Harlan County, pushing into parts of Letcher County. It's imperative. You've got to take this seriously. You've got to be in your safe place. And again, this is a possible tornado pushing close to the Cumberland area, and that is pushing into Letcher County over the next little bit there. If we can, Jim, let's take a look at the velocity signature. And I've noticed behind the scenes, and I want to take that back. I was going to say it didn't look as impressive, but this looks like a really impressive signature. And this is sitting on US 119 in Cumberland. So again, if you were living in Cumberland, or you know anyone that's living in Cumberland, you have got to get them to a safe place, as this is your possible tornado pushing close to the Harlan-Letcher County line, close to the city of Cumberland. And again, this is on US 119. If you are driving on US 119, nobody should be driving from Jenkins to Harlan in between those areas, because this storm is actually kind of following the US 119 corridor into portions of Letcher County. And again, this is a possible tornado that is close to the Cumberland, Kentucky area. So this is a call to action. You got to be in your safe place. And again, that is the lowest floor near the center, away from windows. No one should be driving, and no one should be in a mobile home. If we can, for a quick second, let's kind of zoom out and show that storm that's coming to the London-Corbin area. And again, that is not tornadic, but that is kind of severe, which it looks like they've dropped the severe thunderstorm warning, but it is nasty on I-75 from London to Corbin. Heavy rain, gusty winds, possibly some small hail, but this is no longer severe. This is under severe limits. But again, we are watching out for some more nasty weather in Laurel County, pushing into Whitley County, also for places in Knox County as well. So we are down to one warning, and that is the tornado warning for portions of Harlan, also Letcher counties, and that's going to last until 8 o'clock this evening. Right now, that's sitting over Cumberland. So again, we gave you the first alert several minutes ago in Cumberland. You had to be in your safe place, but now it's really sitting on top of you in Cumberland. That will continue pushing off to the east, and next in line, here's Whitesburg, and I can say kind of confidently that this is on a more southerly track in terms of downtown Whitesburg, but still, you're in the warning. You got to be in your safe place if you live in Whitesburg. If you are in Whitesburg, I do think you see more of the straight line wind, also the hail threat with this storm as it pushes off to the east, but still take this storm seriously. Whitesburg is on my finger, and that is going to continue pushing off to the east, that tornadic storm into Letcher County. So let's go a little bit further south if we can, Jim. Let's kind of show that little hook echo. There we go. It's perfect. So here's Cumberland, and again, your possible tornado would be sitting on US 119, really, really close to downtown Cumberland. The next up in line is going to be portions of western Letcher County. So we do have that tornado warning in place for the next 10 minutes, and we'll see what the National Weather Service office wants to do, if they're going to extend this warning off to the east or if they're going to let this expire. Now, I do say the velocity couplet's still there, so I wouldn't be shocked if they extended this off to the east. But again, we'll kind of wait and see what they want to do. I haven't seen an update, unless you have, of the watch. Have you seen anything where they're going to extend the watch? It also would not shock me if they extended the watch a little bit, considering the cold front is still back into central Kentucky. You can kind of see the lightning flashes here on your screen. That's the cold front, and once that system passes, the severe weather threat will come to a close, Jim.
Let me check on that, Cameron, see what we can come up with on that. Again, the tornado warning for Harlan County, which was once in Bell County, Harlan County, and Letcher County, that runs until 8 p.m. So we still have a few moments on that, and we'll see what the verdict is once we get to 8 o'clock there. And let's take a look. We're also looking at some heavy rainfall in this area as well, so the potential for flooding is there. And the tornado watch, as it still stands, still going to go till 8 o'clock.
Okay.
No word on an update there, and we'll find out here just in a few minutes, I guess, once we get to 8.
If we can, let's go to velocity really quickly and go to Corbin. I just saw a little bit of an indication of possibly a let right there. So let's zoom into where it says North Corbin. Right here, there's a little bit of rotation. Again, this storm had a severe thunderstorm warning earlier, but right now it has no warning. But still, if you live in northern Knox County, portions of southern Laurel County, keep an eye on this system. This could be some trouble over the next little bit as it pushes off to the east, northeast. Again, no warning at this hour, but again, this is rotation close to Highway 25E, just to the south and east of downtown Corbin. So we'll keep a close eye on that. But right now, we do have a tornado warning in place for Harlan County, also in Letcher County. So you can see here we have one warning, and that is for this one right here in extreme eastern Harlan County, pushing into portions of Letcher County. And again, that couplet's also impressive, Jim, close to Cumberland. If we can go back to the velocity product, you can see here that this is what we call correlation coefficient. This shows debris in the air. And some good news, let's go back further east. And
Wrong button, sorry.
No, you're good. But this kind of shows the debris in the atmosphere. And some good news, we're not getting indications of this on radar. That's great news there. But still, the velocity couplet is impressive. You can see here sitting right on top of downtown Cumberland. And we have a pretty tight couplet here. So this is from the National Weather Service office in Jackson. The red color, that's going away from Jackson. The green color, that's wind going towards the radar in Jackson. And this is your tornadic circulation, very close to US 119 and downtown Cumberland. That will continue pushing off to the east. And once we're done with this system in Cumberland, next up in line is Letcher County. So again, let's back out a little bit and show next who's in line with this system as it starts to move into Letcher County. I do think that this will stay. Here's Whitesburg, and Whitesburg, you're technically in the warning, but I do feel pretty good that this will stay just to the south of downtown Whitesburg. It's really following US 119, and that will continue to be the case over the next little bit as it pushes off to the north and east. So next up, and there's that new tornado warning. So we have a warning, and that will be for Wise County, Virginia, and that's going to be for this same cell. So this is for Wise County, Virginia, from the National Weather Service office in Morristown, Tennessee. They cover Wise County, Virginia. So we do have a new tornado warning for portions of Wise County, Virginia. And if we can, Jim, can we turn off the radar data very quickly? I want to show people who's in and who's out of this system of this new warning. So let's zoom into, and also want to mention we have that new severe thunderstorm warning that covers a large real estate from London to Manchester. But again, our focus will be on this cell that is moving into portions of Harlan, Letcher, and Wise County, Virginia. And that is a tornado warning for portions of northern Wise County. That does not include the city of Norton. If we can go in a little bit tighter, let's kind of see who's in and who's out of that warning in Wise County, Virginia. And you can see here that this does include the US 23 corridor from the Jenkins area down into portions of Wise County. Some good news, this does not include Norton. It does not include Big Stone Gap. It does include the Pound area. So again, this includes Pound and Wise County. So you have some time. Go ahead and go to your safe place. Again, that's the lowest floor near the center, away from windows. You don't want to be in a car. You don't want to be in a mobile home. And we ask everyone in your severe weather plan to have on a helmet. Everyone should have on a helmet. That's a bicycle helmet, a batting helmet, a motorcycle helmet. Any of those helmets will work fine when we have active tornado warnings. If we can, let's put the radar back on and we'll just kind of show everyone what we're dealing with here. And again, our focus is going to be on this storm pushing into Letcher County from Harlan County. And this warning is going to be until 7:50 or until 8 o'clock. The current time is 7:55. So we'll see over the next 5 minutes what the National Weather Service office wants to do. But again, a possible tornado very close to the Harlan-Letcher County border. And this is going to continue pushing off to the east, really following US 119 and to portions of southern Letcher County. That warning also takes into account portions of northern Wise County and Virginia if it indeed goes over the Kentucky and Virginia border. But really, that's the latest we have right now. And Jim, do we have any new reports coming in that you see over in the Slack chat or anything like that that kind of gives us an idea of what we're working with here in eastern Harlan County? Because I have not seen anything, which is great news.
Not seeing anything right at the second here, Cameron. Again, looking at this system that continues to impress. This has been going on for, well, more than 2 hours now, probably more like 2.5 hours. This system that began back in Tennessee. And let me see what else I can find here. Again, not seeing what I'm trying to find over here.
Got you.
My first day, so well, sort of, kind of my first day, I guess.
And you say we have some video, Jennifer, and where is this from? Okay, so Colbine? Oh, Cold Iron and Harlan. Okay, so we got a video of some hail, and remember, we talked about the potential for a pretty large hail core pushing into Harlan County, and you see here that verified in the Harlan County area. We had some pretty large hailstones. Hard to see what size those are, but still, hail can do some damage, Jim, especially when we have approaching 1 inch in diameter hail. That's quarter-sized hail, and this storm was capable of producing ping pong ball-sized hail. So we're talking about some pretty large hail when it comes to producing damage over in Harlan County earlier this evening.
The rain, the hail, the wind, it's a deadly combination as we have warnings up for Harlan County, Kentucky, as well as Letcher County, Kentucky, and on into Wise County, portions of Wise County, Virginia, and namely the Pound area there, as it is a system that has been developed and has been moving on a north-northeast track, and it stayed fairly true all the way from Morgan County, Tennessee, across the Tennessee-Kentucky border, on into Bell County, Harlan County, now portions of Letcher County and Wise County, Virginia. This storm system is now covering 7 counties and about 150-mile stretch from Morgan County, Tennessee, all the way up into Wise, Virginia. And this is these are areas that are about probably the better part of 3 hours apart if you get in the car and drive. But
yeah.
This system is continuing.
The National Weather Service in Jackson, Kentucky has issued a tornado warning for northeastern Harlan County, central Letcher County, southwestern Pike County until 8:45 p.m. At 7:56 p.m., a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Maggard, or 7 miles southwest of Whitesburg, moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. Hazard, tornado and quarter-size hail. Source, radar indicated rotation. Impact, flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. This dangerous storm will be near Whitesburg around 8 p.m. Miking around 8:05 p.m. Fish Pond Lake around 8:10 p.m. Jenkins around 8:15 p.m. Other locations in the path of this tornadic thunderstorm include Shelby Gap. Repeating, a tornado warning has been issued until 8:45 p.m. for the following counties in Kentucky: Harlan, Letcher, and Pike.
.45. Let's go back to the velocity signature here, and this should be close to the Harlan-Letcher County border. Okay, so we are getting a report of sirens in Harlan, and that's from the extreme eastern part of Harlan County. So downtown Harlan, the danger is over from this storm. The extreme eastern edge of Harlan County still has that warning. But again, this is now basically solely into Letcher County, so that we can now kind of give an all clear to the Harlan County area. Again, here's the border. This is Harlan County, this is Letcher County. And again, this system is sitting on US 119 in western Letcher County. So an all clear from this storm for Harlan County. Could we see some more showers and storms tonight? Absolutely. But from this tornado warning, an all clear for Harlan County. If we can, Jim, can we kind of scoot over to the west a little bit? Kind of want to show kind of who's downstream of this system. Oh, sorry about that. I meant my west. I was kind of trying to. There we go. Sorry about that.
I thought you said west. You said left.
Yeah. So again, we are tracking the potential for a little bit of some rotation here near US 119, and this is now solely into Letcher County. And again, Whitesburg is technically in this warning, but I feel pretty good to say that the main tornadic circulation will stay to the south of downtown Whitesburg. But still, as a course of least regret, go ahead and go indoors, stay indoors until this storm passes. We could still see some large hail and some strong straight line winds over in downtown Whitesburg, but I do think the more tornadic super supercell will stay to the south of downtown Whitesburg. Again, this will continue following the US 119 corridor into southern Letcher County, and after that, it will move into portions of Wise County, Virginia. There's already a tornado warning for portions of Wise County, Virginia, and that includes the Pound area later on this evening. If we can, let's take a look at that storm that's prompted the severe thunderstorm warning. That was for portions of Clay County. And again, this is a storm capable of producing some heavy rain, some strong straight line winds, some large hail, but we are not anticipating a tornadic threat with this storm as it moves into Clay County, portions of Owsley County. This includes a small sliver of Perry County and also portions of Leslie County as well. So again, here is your kind of timings here over the next little bit. We do have several areas in the path of this storm, and again, this is a straight line wind threat, also a hail threat. We are not looking at rotation with this storm that's enough to really prompt a tornado warning. We have one tornado warning in place, and that is for portions of Letcher County, moving into Harlan County, also extreme southern Pike County, and then into Wise County, Virginia. So we're going to keep it here. The current time is 8:02, and we are watching WYMT, and we have tornado coverage across the region. Okay, let's go to West Liberty. We have a live camera over there, and okay, 1 second. Again, we have no warnings in West Liberty, but we do have some rain falling and some dark skies. Let's go ahead and check in. Okay, if we can't, that's okay. We'll kind of come. Okay, so we'll check into that here soon.
Well, let's mention, Cameron, that this
Okay.
system, the warning being extended as it moves north and east, this is a slow-moving system, and it's been impressive to stay together, and here's our video.
Yes, so this is a live look from Morgan County, from West Liberty, and again, we have no active warnings in Morgan County right now, but we did have some earlier this morning, and we had a pretty hefty line of showers and storms move through the West Liberty area. Had some trees down in Morgan County at one point, but again, no active warnings right now. But we do have a tornado warning in place for portions of Harlan County, also into Letcher County. So there's a live look from Morgan County. But again, I do want to stress no weather worries at this point over in Morgan County, but we are getting some nasty weather with some more rain, also some windy weather as well. All right, back to the radar. You can see here we are tracking one tornado warning, one severe thunderstorm warning, and this has a capability of producing some straight line winds, also some hail. Can you tell me where in the Cumberland Valley this camera is? Okay, so this is from London. Let's go there, and you can see that this is also a live look from London, and this is kind of what the scene looks like from the downtown London area, or close to the downtown London area. And again, there are no warnings in London right now. That's off to the east, but we do have a severe thunderstorm warning for portions of Clay County, also for portions of Leslie County. That's the same storm that came through London earlier this evening that produced some small hail, also some gusty winds. But again, no active warnings at this hour for downtown London. Let's go back to the radar here really quickly, and you can see that there is that warning we talked about. That storm came through London. They're getting a little bit of a break, but we're still watching out for this supercell that is it just won't go away. I don't know how else to explain it. This storm has came through Campbell County, Claiborne County, Bell County, Harlan County, now pushing into Letcher County. So a first alert, if you live near US 119 in Letcher County, it's time to go to your safe place. That's the lowest floor near the center, away from windows. And again, you don't want to be in a car, and you don't want to be in a mobile home. Jim, I talked about this earlier. I felt like Whitesburg would miss out on the tornadic part of the storm, and that's looked to be the case. As here's Whitesburg, and again, here's your possible tornado down here. So Whitesburg is looking to stay out of that tornadic part of the storm, but still possibly some gusty winds, maybe some heavy rainfall, some frequent lightning, and maybe even some small hail.
This system began, we had the video from West Liberty in Morgan County, Kentucky. This system began in Morgan, where we first started tracking that. This was in Morgan County, Tennessee, which is bordering, actually not bordering the state of Kentucky, as that system was deemed a tornado by the National Weather Service in Morgan County, Tennessee. It weakened somewhat and continued to track slowly, moving at about 30-35 miles per hour. This started about 5:15 to 5:30, so we're pushing 3 hours of tracking this supercell that is now in the Letcher County, portions of Harlan County, Wise County, Virginia area of our viewing area, and it has crossed now into 8 counties. So this has been a monster for a better term, that has covered more than 125, probably pushing 150 miles now of land from Morgan County, Tennessee, all the way into Whitesburg and Letcher County. And this system continues to hold together and stay strong. It's dealing some heavy pockets of rain, very heavy rainfall, damaging winds, straight line winds, and upwards of 60 miles per hour. And of course, hail, small, large. It's been about a variety of sizes, anywhere from a pea size up to the ping pong ball size of hail. And it continues to lay down a mean streak here in the Whitesburg, south of the Whitesburg area. And as Cameron mentioned, it looks as if it's going to flow south, just south of Whitesburg. Whitesburg is going to get a lot of strong wind out of this and some heavy rain, but it looks like it's going to not bear the brunt of this system that continues to move up Highway 119, crossing Highway 23 into portions of Virginia and certainly up the spine of the Appalachians here in Kentucky.
So we do have a new update. If we can pull up the watch warning map that shows the tornado watch, and that was extended to now include all of us until 10 p.m. for eastern Kentucky. So all the eastern Kentucky counties, this is a tornado watch that will last through 10 o'clock this evening. So that was extended for 2 more hours to let this cold front kind of push through here and get out of our region. Now for our kind of fringe counties in West Virginia, pushing into Virginia, also Tennessee, that will last until 2 a.m. But for 10 o'clock, we have a tornado watch in place for most of eastern Kentucky. We have 2 warnings right now, 1 severe thunderstorm warning, 1 tornado warning in Letcher County, moving into Pike County, also into northern Wise County. But I feel pretty good to say this will stay to the south of Whitesburg and possibly south of Pike County. This is moving more towards an eastern jog here over the past little bit. I've kind of noticed that. And if we can go back to that velocity couplet there just to the south of Whitesburg, you can see what I'm talking about. So this is close to the Cumberland area here. So here is our storm, and some good news, Jim, over the past little bit. The velocity signature is right in here, but it doesn't look as well defined as it did coming through Harlan County. So we could be getting a little bit of a weakening trend here with this storm. That's great news as it continues pushing off to the east. And again, here is the border. I want to say this is the border to Wise County, Virginia, as it pushes off to the east. So again, this is the possible tornado close to the US 119 corridor here in southern Letcher County, and that will continue moving off to the east, and that will also stay into account that we are watching out for that storm for Wise County, Virginia. So again, if you live in northern Wise County, that does not include Norton, that does not include Wise, but that does include the Pound area. This is a tornado warning for you. But again, I do want to stress this doesn't look as defined as it did about 10 to 15 minutes ago coming out of Harlan County, pushing into Letcher County. So that's kind of the latest there, at least in my opinion, Jim.
Well, your opinion counts because you're the meteorologist here. Well, I am too, I guess, but I'm not on the level of you. We're talking about 9 counties. I was just tallying them up there that we have tracked this storm across. Maybe not the entire counties, but certainly a portion of them, from Morgan County, Tennessee, all the way now into Kentucky and portions of Virginia. So 9 counties. As this system continues to move, as you mentioned, Cameron, it does look like it's moving more easterly. I think that's why Whitesburg is getting the not getting the brunt of this, as it's moving just a bit south of Whitesburg, which makes it more of an eastern trajectory here for this system. But again, we're dealing with this severe thunderstorm warning in the Manchester-Clay County area. That's coming across the Hal Rogers Parkway and laying down some very heavy rainfall. And we're talking straight line winds in that system too, that is creating some real dangerous conditions in portions of Clay County. That continues to move up the parkway, heading almost on an eastward motion as well. Cameron?
Yeah, let's kind of zoom into northern Wise County if we can. And I think that is really who's next in line with this system. Again, Pike County, southern Pike County, technically close to the Dorton area. You're included in this tornado warning, but I do think the bulk of the action will stay kind of in this southern Letcher County, northern Wise County, Virginia area. So next in line is the Pound area, and this is in northern Wise County. So nobody should be driving on US 23 from the Kentucky-Virginia border through the Pound area. Everyone should be off the road, and everyone should be out of their mobile home. Go to a more substantial shelter. You cannot be in a car or a mobile home during a tornado warning. And again, your possible tornado would be in the southwestern flank of this storm right here, just to the south and east of downtown Whitesburg. Here is the the Kentucky and Virginia border on my finger, but again, this is kind of approaching the border over the next couple of minutes, and that will be more of a northern Wise County storm, especially in the Pound area. Let's take a look at the velocity if we can, Jim, and that'll show us the wind pattern with this system. And again, that's going to show us a kind of a velocity signature that's lost its kick. And notice, if you remember back to when it was near Harlan, also Cumberland and Everett, it had a pretty tight circulation, especially close to Cumberland. But right now, though, it's a little bit muddy, a little bit messy as it pushes out of southeast Kentucky into southwest Virginia. And again, this is the state border right here, and your possible tornado would be somewhere in this region. But again, the velocity signature is not as tight as it was, and that's some good news as this storm is possibly beginning to weaken after it pushed through several counties in our coverage area. But again, that will continue moving off to the east. So just because it's weakening doesn't mean it can't re-strengthen. So that doesn't mean to not take it seriously. Go ahead and go to that safe place if you live in extreme southeastern Letcher County, close to the Virginia border, into portions of northern Wise County. I do want to stress that does not include Norton or Wise or Big Stone Gap. This does include the city of Pound, though, and that will be next in line. And really, that circulation is very close now to the Kentucky and Virginia border. Right here, kind of where I'm circling, that'll be the tornadic circulation. But again, even here, it's really not looking as hot as it did a few scans ago, especially near the Letcher and Harlan County border. So maybe we can get a little bit of a weakening trend with this storm over the next little bit as it pushes out of here, and we can kind of, take a deep breath after this one's out of here, because it's been a crazy one, to say the least, ever since Campbell County.
Well, it has, Cameron, and one of the catches here, the sun set just before 8 o'clock, so we're getting into darkness now. That's creating a little bit of a danger of its own with these systems, and that's a big advantage for these to be dying down for all of us here in the mountains and the WYMT viewing area. This system over the Manchester area is a very slow mover. We're thinking probably about 20 to maybe 30 miles per hour. So it's training. By training, we mean it's like the reins on a stationary bike. It's not moving. It's just staying over one area. And that's what it's doing here in the Manchester, Clay County area, dumping a lot of rain there. But that is a severe thunderstorm warning for that area. But the area of focus has been this supercell that is creeping its way up the spine of the Appalachians. It's laying out some 50 and 60 mile per hour straight line winds, but it's moving fairly slowly. It was moving, we thought, about maybe 50 miles per hour earlier. I think it's slowed down some since then, but it's into its 9th county, counting Wise County. This supercell began in Morgan County, Tennessee, just across the Tennessee-Kentucky border, angled its way north and northeast across Scott County, Campbell County, Tennessee, portions of Claiborne County, then Bell County, Kentucky, into Harlan County, and it's left Harlan County. The rain is still falling fairly heavily in Harlan County, and now it's working its way into Letcher County, portions of Wise County, a little bit of Pike County. It also touched the southern portion of Perry County in its track up the spine of the Appalachians here along the Country Music Highway, and then Highway 119 as well, as it's approaching the Jenkins area. And it looks like Fleming Neon, that area will also be in the bullseye. If you want, we'll put the track on this here, Cameron, and get an idea of just how this is heading. Again, mainly to the east, but it is heading toward Sargent here, and about, well, actually we are at 8:15. It's there now. Kona in a couple of minutes, Seco 8:20, Neon Junction, and then Fleming Neon here in the next 6-7 minutes. Potter's Fork at 8:25. McRoberts 8:27, and then the town of Jenkins at 8:29, and also on to Adamson about 8:34. This warning is in effect until 8:45, so we're about half an hour to go in this particular warning. And Cameron, I think by what you've said that you're thinking that this may be allowed to expire this time if this system continues to weaken, as it has shown some signs here in the last probably 15, maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah, weaken, and that's definitely the case. If not expired or canceled early, this does go until 8:45, like Jim mentioned, so about 30 more minutes. But even there, I just don't see this being in this polygon for 30 more minutes, because it's kind of exiting the region as we speak. I do want to give an all clear, though, to areas in Whitesburg, also pushing back to the west. So for Whitesburg, all clear. If you're in your safe space for this warning, this is an all clear for Whitesburg. Also for back to the west near Cumberland. Again, there are no warnings in place now for Whitesburg west. Now from east Whitesburg pushing into southeastern Letcher County, yes, that warning does continue. Also want to point this out, a severe thunderstorm warning for Clay County pushing into portions of Owsley, into portions of Perry, also Leslie County. There is nothing tornadic with this storm, but this could produce some strong straight line winds, some possibly large hail, and some heavy rainfall as well. And now we could see that over the next little bit. That warning also goes until 8:45, I want to say, and that little cluster will continue pushing off to the north and east over the next little bit there. So if it holds together coming through these areas, again, these are approximate arrival times, so don't take that to the bank. But we could see that coming through places in Perry County, also Leslie County, over the next little bit there. If we can, Jim, let's take a little bit of a reset here. The current time is 8:17. Let's take a wide look at the entire region, and we can see kind of what we're dealing with here. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning in central Kentucky. If that stays on its path, it could be coming through places in Rockcastle, Jackson, or Estill County. So a first alert, a heads up if you live in Rockcastle, Jackson, or Estill County. Keep an eye on this cell as it moves off to the north and east over the next little bit there. But some good news. Here is the backside of the severe weather threats. This line of showers and storms close to Lexington, also close to Frankfort. That's the cold front. And once this system passes, the severe weather threat will come to a close. Until then, it's fair game until that severe weather or until that cold front passes. So again, once this system passes about 10, 11 o'clock this evening, the severe weather threat will come to a close. But until then, you have got to have a way to receive warnings and stay weather aware. We have a couple of warnings in place for eastern Kentucky. One is a severe thunderstorm warning for Clay into Owsley, Perry, and Leslie County that will last through this evening. And of course, we have that tornado warning for portions of Letcher County pushing into now Wise County in Virginia. If we can, let's zoom into that tornado warning really quickly, and we'll kind of show everyone the latest radar scans. And you can see here the storm is still there, but it's not as well defined as it was over the past several minutes. So here's Jenkins, and again, here's your inflow notch. If you're in Jenkins, you should have been sheltered 30, 45 minutes ago. This was a really big warning. It had a really large lead time. So if you're in Jenkins, you should have been already sheltered, but your possible tornado would be somewhere in this region, just to the south and west of downtown Jenkins. This is US 119. This is US 23. And again, this is the Neon area, and this is a possible tornado just to the south and west of Jenkins. So, and we're in Letcher County at this hour. This is portions of Wise County, Virginia. Looks like the warning for Pike County was allowed to, they cut that out, I should say. So the warning was cut out for Pike County. I think that's a good call there, as this looks to stay mainly into Letcher, also in Wise County in Virginia. But again, if you're in Jenkins in Letcher County, this is your call to action. Go ahead and go to your safe place, and that is the lowest floor in a small room near the center and away from windows. No one should be driving. No one should be in a mobile home. In your safe space, we want you to have on a helmet, also have on shoes. And again, this is US 119. No one should be driving on US 119 from Jenkins all the way up to Dorton until this storm passes. We'll give you that all clear once we can do so. Also, US 23 from Jenkins to Pound. I would not want to be on that road either. And again, if you're in Pound, you're also under that tornado warning. So you also need to be in your safe space if you live in northern Wise County, especially close to the Kentucky and Virginia border. Let's go to velocity really quickly, Jim, if we can, and we'll kind of show what the wind's doing in this storm. Again, it kind of fizzled out there for a minute. Let's see if it's kind of coming back, and not really. I mean, there's something close to Jenkins, but it's not as well defined as it was. If we can go, yeah, keep going back up to the north and east. And here's Jenkins. So again, here is your couplet. Your possible tornado is somewhere close to Jenkins, really sitting on top of Jenkins, that rotation is. And again, it's not as well defined as it was. That's good news there. And hopefully this will continue to weaken as it pushes off to the east. But again, until the warning is expired or canceled, just be sure that you are in your safe space, you're hunkered down, and you have us on Facebook or on WYMT.com. And we are also on the WYMT First Alert Weather app. So be sure that you are keeping up with the forecast until this warning is expired. Also, the watch is expired later on this evening. Jim, if you want to take over for a second, I'm going to look at something really quickly in Slack, and then I'll kind of jump back in really quickly.
Okay, let's do this. I am a ham radio operator, KD4QKQ, and some of the ham radio operators are responding from Harlan County, saying that the storm cell has moved out from the location in Baxter. They received a little more than a half inch of rain some minor street damage, no other damage. That's from KM4CTJ. That's he's located in Chad, Kentucky, reporting the storm is over in his location, and he's getting heavy rains and lightning, and no other reports at this moment. 10 amateur radio operators, also ham radio operators, one of the same, checking in throughout the Harlan County Skywarn network, and they are continuing to track weather in that area as well. Thank you, fellow ham radio operators. We are tracking the storm now in its 9th county, which is Wise County and Letcher County. Lost count. We have 9 counties that this storm system, the supercell, has tracked through. It was probably about 5 o'clock, and Cameron was watching radar down in Tennessee, in Morgan County, Tennessee, in a community called Sunbright. He was watching this system as we're zooming into that area. Lansing, that's an area in Morgan County, and this is where the storm all began. This is the supercell in the Sunbright area where we picked up on that. And this system tracked its way north and east starting about 5:15, so we're more than 3 hours into following this one supercell that has set up tornado warnings all the way in its path from Tennessee into Kentucky, across into Bell County. I think maybe about 6 o'clock. It's been a little more than 2 hours ago. It made its way into Bell County. It's a slow mover at about 30, 35 miles per hour. Then it did pick up some speed at about, we were estimating about 50 miles per hour, its movement. But it is laying down a lot of heavy rain, also some large hail, and then of course the damaging winds, straight line winds in the neighborhood of 60 miles per hour. And darkness has settled in here probably about 20 minutes ago. That's making it even more in a dangerous situation, but we're watching this storm system begin to wane just a little bit. It has been very impressive as it has stormed its way up the Appalachian spine. And then the other system that came out of Tennessee, this was in the Fentress County area of Tennessee, bordering with Kentucky. It came across the state line into Wayne and McCreary counties. It kind of made a bit of a button hook as it came north and then headed east across portions of Somerset, actually portions of London in that area, came up through Monticello, and now it is along the Hal Rogers Parkway in Clay County, heading toward Leslie County along the parkway. This system is just giving us a lot of rain. Severe thunderstorm warning is what this was labeled as earlier. Let's check those warnings for you. Yes, a severe thunderstorm warning is with this system that we're watching. It's crossed I-75 now along the Hal Rogers Parkway, working its way toward Hazard, and the tornado warning for Wise and Letcher counties in Kentucky runs until 8:45. So we have several systems. We're also watching this system just south of Danville that is also a severe thunderstorm, and back as you see the color change from Louisville to the Lexington area, that's where the cold front is positioned at this moment. And once we can get to that line of demarcation, we're going to be home free tonight, but there will still be some rain that will be associated with this system once we clear tonight, probably midnight into our day on Wednesday. With that cold front, it's going to give us some really way below average temperatures. Today we were up close to 80 degrees. The average high is about 65 for an April the 2nd, average low about 40, 42, and we're going to have 40, maybe 42 for a high on Wednesday and Thursday, Cameron, and we'll be talking about keeping those plants of yours safe on Thursday morning and Friday morning, as temperatures will be in the 30s. And Cameron, I think you're ready to take back over, sir.
Yeah, and I was going to just mention, you know, it's crazy to me. We could see some snowflakes in early April. I'm from Alabama, so we don't see snow in general, period. But we really don't see snow in April, so that's something that's a sight to see for sure. And Jim, I do want to say we may have dropped that tornado warning for Letcher County. Let's zoom in there really quickly if we can, and if that's the case, that's really great news. And it looks like we have. So some great news, that warning has officially been canceled for Letcher County. Again, that storm has really weakened over the past 15 minutes or so. technically still in place for a small sliver of northeastern Wise County, but even there, that's going to expire pretty quickly. They're not going to let that keep going. So we are down to one warning for now. Could that change? Absolutely, until that cold front passes. So it's very important that you have multiple ways to receive warnings as we go into this evening. But right now, though, we have a severe thunderstorm warning. And actually, if we can, Jennifer, can we look at the video that's from Cumberland? This was kind of during when that tornado warning storm was coming through. So let me know when that's ready to go. But we do have some video from Cumberland, and once that warning was passing through there earlier this evening, and we'll kind of toss it out. Okay, let's see what that looks like. So you can see there, this is looking back, and you can see some pretty dark clouds back there, hard to see. And you know, Jim, we do not chase storms in eastern Kentucky because we have just some really nice terrain, but not nice in terms of storm chasing terrain. We have hills and we have trees, and that's really hard to see anything because of those hills and trees. And that's really the scene that it looked like earlier this evening as that tornado warning storm was pushing through the Cumberland area. But again, some great news and all clear for Letcher County from that storm. We are tracking a severe thunderstorm warning for portions of Leslie County, Clay County, Perry County. But again, the tornado warning storm has been canceled as that weakening trend continues. Let's do a little bit of kind of a backwards. Let's kind of zoom out here. That's what I'm looking for, Jim, if we can, because I want to kind of point two things out. One, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning for Rowan County. That includes the city of Moorhead, also the I-64 corridor. But also notice this, we have two severe thunderstorm warnings in central Kentucky. And notice their track. If they continue pushing off north and east, that'll wind up here in our region over the next 45 minutes to an hour. So again, we are not done with the severe weather chance just yet. We have a tornado watch in place, and that'll be until 10 o'clock this evening. So it's very, very important. Until then, you have multiple ways to receive warnings. Now, here's the thing. We have no more tornado warnings. We're coming up on 8:30. So what we'll do is that 8:30, we'll kind of send it back to regular programming as we have no more active tornado warnings. And again, we'll be here all evening, all night if we have to, until this cold front passes. And again, this is the back edge of the severe weather. Once this passes, we are done with the severe weather threat. But until then, we are going to keep an eye on this and kind of keep you up to date as we go into the rest of this evening. That tornado watch does continue into 10 o'clock this evening for eastern Kentucky, and that will continue until 2 a.m. for those counties in West Virginia, also into Virginia and into northern Tennessee. Now, if you're watching us, we have one severe thunderstorm warning for a little bit of Perry, Leslie, Owsley, and Clay County. But again, that's the only warning we have on the board besides that severe thunderstorm warning that's close to I-64 and Moorhead. But there could be more warnings as we go through the rest of this evening. So it's very important that you download that First Alert Weather app, and you have multiple ways to receive warnings. That's a free app. You can scan the QR code on your phone and download that for free to keep up with the forecast, and also to have the latest radar, the watches, the warnings, the app videos that we send out daily. And also, you can send photos on the WYMT First Alert Weather app. So a really great tool to have, especially when we have some active weather. But right now, some great news. The tornado warnings have expired. We have no more in place. Could we see a few more? It's possible. Again, that the risk is not zero, so it's very important that you kind of keep up with the forecast as we go through the rest of this evening. We're coming up on 8:30, and we will send you back to regular programming here shortly. But again, I just want to say one more time, be sure that you keep up with the forecast this evening, and until this cold front passes, the threat for severe weather is not over just yet. A tornado watch is in place through tonight, and we have that level 3 enhanced risk also in place until that cold front passes our region. But if we have a new warning, we'll be back. But until then, have a great Tuesday evening. Stay weather aware. For Jim Freeman, I'm Cameron Aaron in the WYMT First Alert Weather Center.